Morning. So here we go again. The Traxxas Sledgehammer. Now, don't get me wrong, I love vintage trucks, but for the price of entry for some of these vintage trucks and the hard to find parts and just the brittle plastic they used back in the day, these things have some problems. Note, I've done a lot of upgrading to both of my sledgehammers, so let's get into it. The stock Traxxas wheels and tires are just these standard chevron patterns, kind of what you saw on the old Stampedes. Actually, these did come off of an old Stampede. Both of mine have these tires. So, the stock tires that came on these trucks, they had there was this pattern, but they had little nubs on each of the little grooves here. So, these look much better. Traxxas should have stuck with these. These also get a decent bit of grip on most surfaces. They're not really a super sticky race tire. They're just more of a general all-purpose monster truck tire. So not gonna be winning races, but unless everybody's running the same tire and just having fun. 2 shocks on each corner. I swapped them out for aluminum threaded body shocks, as the stock ones are absolute shit. The white plastic that they used for the drive shafts was so brittle that over time, they would just disintegrate and snap and shatter as you're just trying to drive. So, both of mine I upgraded to the modern black. Those are out of Traxxas Bandit. These parts right here especially are getting hard to come by, these output cups, because they're not like you see on the newer two-wheel drive Traxxas stuff. These ones don't sit on the pin, they have the pin and go into the diff. So yeah, those parts are becoming very hard to come by. As you can see, I've done a decent bit of work back here with some aluminum upgrades, just to kind of keep it up to speed with this brushless system I got in this truck. I've got one in the other, same thing as well. Now the body mounts for these things, what the hell were they thinking for the body mounts? I mean, come on. What the hell is this? When the thing's driving, the body's shaking around like it's gonna like it's having a spaz attack because it's on these weird springs and they're not just solid. So I don't know what the hell the point of that was, unless it was to help absorb some of the shock when you roll over. The original mechanical speed controller that came in these things, from what I hear, was decent. However, when I got both of my trucks, the mechanical speed controllers were not working. Or if they were working, the servos that they were connected to were not. So I just updated it with modern brushless because, yeah, brushless. The setup on this truck, however, is not bad at all. Tub style chassis. Everything sits nice and neatly in there and is protected. It's pretty thick. It's brittle. This white plastic was very brittle. Now, I do run these trucks pretty hard. I don't launch them off of ramps at, Mach Jesus, but I run these things pretty hard. And, so it still holds up pretty well. I mean, these trucks are very durable. The diff, the whole rear end is, what basically evolved into the modern two-wheel drive Traxxas rear end. This is just kind of the earlier adaptation of it. But just the basic, the shock towers. What the hell were you guys thinking here? That's my the most annoying thing I find about these, aside from the brittle plastic. They used what they had at the time, I get it, but what the hell, guys? However, you can see how a lot of the stuff on this truck and the other trucks of this era, like the Hawk, the Radicator, the Hawk 2, all that translated into what you see on the modern two-wheel drive Traxxas stuff. So, had to start somewhere. So, I mean, realistically, if I take my rose-tinted glasses off, and just the cool factor of this truck alone isn't going to save it, because essential driveline parts like those output cups are so hard to come by nowadays, I really can't give this thing a very high rating, as much as I love this truck, or this chassis as well. Like, I love the design. I love what this style turned into. The Stampede is awesome. And I love where this one, where it started with this, and then what it turned into. But I really can't give this thing more than a 5 out of 10 rating, because just mainly the brittle white plastic that they had at the time, especially on those essential driveline components, that is the biggest flaw in this truck. Everything else can be overlooked. The dumpy shocks, a pair of cheap upgrade pair of shocks like I got in here. It was $20 for all 8 shocks. All aluminum, all threaded body. Just pop in and go. $20, boom, that problem's solved. The plastic on the drive shafts. The shafts and those output cups. Those damn output cups. And I've tried to look into a way to fit a modern two-wheel drive diff in there, but because the modern ones are 48 pitch and I believe this one's 32 pitch, they just don't mesh, and they won't fit together. Different size gear, they're different sizes. It's gotta be as it is. So again, that's why unfortunately I can only give this a 5 out of 10. Even though I love these trucks so much. Thanks for sticking around to the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button. Feel free to subscribe. Hit the notification bell to be notified about all my new videos when they come out. If you got any questions, comments, go ahead and leave them down below. Or if you would like to contact me directly, links to all the social medias or the email, direct email, that'll all be linked in the description below. Stay tuned. Have a good day.